Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. DOS here. Welcome to this Animal Crossing video. So I thought I'd do something a little different. I wanted to make tier lists of what my favorite villagers were. So I originally had the idea of, let's make a tier list of all the villagers in one go. And then I realized, that video could be like 2 hours long because there's so many villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I thought, let's break it up by personality types. And I thought, what personality type better to start us off than Smug, the personality type that has some of the most popular villagers in the game. Now, I just want to let this be known, this is my personal opinion. If certain villager is your favorite, then that's fine. And if I put them in a different tier than you think, then that's also fine. But by all means, at the end of the video, let me know who, at the very least, who's in your S tier for Smug villagers. So, villagers right now are currently alphabetized. Didn't start off that way, actually. They were organized by animal type, but now they're alphabetized. And I have on my other screen a image of all of them so I can see their full body. So it's going to be based off of just their looks, because I don't know what the interior of their houses look like, and their Smug villagers they're all going to say very similar things. So we're starting off with Beardo, a bear villager. So it looks like this guy wears like a waistcoat, an ascot, stuff like that. He's got his mutton chops and his mustache. I think he's an okay villager. I think he's not offensive or anything. I'm not a fan of the coloring. I'm not a huge fan of the whole mutton chop thing. So I'm going to give Beardo a B. Just to let you guys know as well, the order of them in the specific tiers doesn't mean anything. It's just, this is what matters right here. Next we have Chatter. So Chatter is a mouse that is cheese. I'm someone who loves villagers with gimmicks to them. So... and I don't like mice in general, but this is probably one of the few mice in Animal Crossing New Horizons that I super enjoy. So I'm going to give Chatter an A. His name is even a pun on it, so that's great. Next is Chops. Chops seems to be like a very, like, the snooty, like, dignified stereotype. He's a pig. Not a huge fan of him. To be honest, I'm going to give Chops a C. I don't think his design's really that pleasing to me. It just looks really weird, and I'm not a huge fan of the pig villagers either. I don't know. His clothes also just don't say anything to me. Next we have Kolten. Kolten is a horse villager who looks like they have like a weird like e-boy haircut. I do like the coloring of them, and I like the difference between the snout color as well. The clothes are okay, nothing special. I think I'm gonna give Kolten. I think I'm gonna give him a B. He's not super great, but he's not really bad. He's a nice, decent villager, I'd say. Next we have Kurlos the sheep. I actually really like Kurlos. I think sheeps just look really nice in general in Animal Crossing. And Kurlos seems to be just like the stereotypical, like, either like reggae villager or like, at the very least, Mexican villager. I think I'm gonna give Kurlos... I think I'm gonna give him an A. His color palette's very pleasing, it goes very well. A nice brown, a nice like caramel color with the red, white, and green like shirt. He just looks very pleasing to me. He looks very nice. Next we have Ed. Now Ed has this emo boy hairstyle with a bright blue coloring and a white shirt with polka dots on it. I'm gonna have to give him a B as well. I like the coloring a lot. And I like the shirt, but I'm not a fan of his eyes and his hair. That's what really kills me, is the eyes and the hair. Not a huge fan of that. Next we have Eugene the Koala. Now Eugene is obviously like a greaser type villager. I'm not a huge fan of koalas, I'm going to be honest. But he does have a theme to him. He has a gimmick. He's a greaser. He's got sunglasses, leather jacket, leather pants, stuff like that. Plus his design isn't like so like horrendous to me, I guess is what I can say. I'm not a fan of the mutton chops right here, or the crazy sideburns, I guess I should say. But I'll have to give him a B. Next we have Graham the Hamster. I don't like Graham's design at all. I don't like the glasses. I don't like the mouth. I don't like the colors of his shirt. Graham's going to be the first D. There are much better hamsters in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think out of all the hamsters, he's probably the worst. And just for Smug villagers in general, I don't like his design. I think it's very odd. Next we have Hansa Guerrilla. So I'm not a huge fan of gorillas, but there's something about Hans that I like. I think like the color palette of him, he looks more like a Yeti, stuff like that. He's got like a nice formal like type of sweater on him. His face isn't that bad. It's pretty good for a gorilla in his case. So I have to give Hans probably a B as well. He's not bad, but he's not really good either. He's not a villager that I would take on my island. I would take Chatter and I would take Kurlos. But he's not really like anything special. And we have Henry. I think Henry's just gonna be a B. He seems like he's just a very basic bitch frog. He's like what you would expect a frog villager to look like. His shirt is pretty normal as well, just a striped shirt, a blue striped shirt. I think he's just a B. He's a decent frog villager. He's a decent looking villager. Nothing special. Nothing super interesting. Now we have Hippux. Hippo. Hippo is going to be another D. I don't like his design. The hippo villagers I think are kind of weird looking regardless. I think Chops is a better looking villager than Hippo. Even though like their design kind of reminds me of each other, but Hippo is like a D. I don't think the hair looks good on him. The face is really weird. The color palette is really weird. He's like a puke green. Not a fan. Now we have Huck. Huck's another frog villager. I think I'm gonna put Huck in B as well. He doesn't have anything special to him. The only thing that Huck has going for him is the smug smile he has, and the smug eyes. But besides that, there's nothing special with this frog. There's no gimmick. There's no like special colors. It's just a gray frog with yellow cheeks. The only thing special is the smug eyes and the smug mouth. Next we have Jacques the Bird. He looks like a stoner. He reminds me of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He's got a flannel. Nothing really much to say about him. I think I'm gonna give Jacques a B as well. To me, he's got the gimmick of being a stoner, in my opinion. From what his looks is, he's got like the feather pattern on the bottom of his face. Look like he has like that soul patch. His design's okay. It's not great. It's not special. Now we move on to Julian. I'm gonna give Julian an S tier. Only because obviously the unicorn's gonna be the smug villager, but it's a unicorn. The color palette is amazing. A nice like sky baby blue with like a nice regular blue and white. And then his shirt is like a dark blue shirt with stars on it. I really like the design of Julian. I think he's really unique. I think it's nice. And it's a gimmick villager as well. It's a freaking horse that's a unicorn. So I think Julian is S tier. He is a villager that I think I would take, and I think most people would take on their island as well. This is like what a smug villager should look like. Just something that you would assume would be smug. Next we have Keaton. Keaton the Eagle. Now out of all the eagles, Keaton's color palette is my favorite. I think I'm gonna have Keaton be a B as well. I think Keaton's design is pretty good. I think Eagles' designs are really good in general, to be honest. They've got like that kind of like track style jacket on. But that's really it. As the same with all the other villagers in B. The the character design isn't bad, but it's not great either. Next we have Ken. I think I'm gonna give Ken A tier. I really like the color palette for Ken. I like how he looks very angry all the time. I like the gray silver beak. I like that he's like a nice black, purple with pink cheeks, stuff like that. I think it's a really nice color design. It's a really different color design for a chicken as well. From the chickens that I've seen from my Audi hunts, I never saw like a really angry one. So I'm gonna give him A. I like he's very pleasing to my eye, and he looks very nice. I probably would maybe have him on my island for a little bit, but he's like a borderline A. He's like borderline A. He's like a high B, low A, I'd say. Next we have Kid the Goat. I think Kid's gonna be an A, just because the goat design just looks really nice. He looks like he'd be a bit of a smug villager. His color palette is really, really nice. It's a nice lavender with some darker purple for his eyelids. And it looks like he has... I can't tell what his shirt is, but it looks like it's some kind of like vest something. I think he's an A for smug. I like his color palette. Goats are a really nice design in general, and he looks like he'd be a smug villager. Next we have Klaus, the bear. Klaus is a D tier. Yeah, I get the gimmick. He's like a stone, like Rome statue. I don't like it. I don't like his face. I don't like the hair on him. I don't like... Well, his outfit's fine, because it's like Roman armor. But, like, this part, I don't like. His color palette's okay for what the gimmick is, but I don't like it. I think he's a D tier. I don't see myself ever getting him. Now we have Kyle. Now, even though I love wolves, I think Kyle is going to be a B tier. Just because he looks like a more of a basic wolf. He's got like dog-like colors. He's got like sleepy eyes. He does have spots on the bottom half of his body to give him a little bit of stuff, but all in all, he's like a very basic looking villager. I think I'll give him a B tier as well. He's a high B though. I'd say that. Next we have the lions, Leopold and Lionel. I think for Leopold, I'm gonna give him a D. I hate his design. I don't like his hair color, his face. I don't like it. Lionel, even though I hate him because he took up the free spot that I had when I had a free spot for the first time for villagers, he's gonna be a C tier. His design is not bad. He's like a like more like wise, like looking man. Got the white hair and the white mustache. His outfit's pretty nice as well. It's like a nice suit and stuff like that. I think he's on par with Chops. He's not anything special though. So, and I'm not a huge fan of the lions either. Next, we move on to Lopez the deer. I think Lopez is a B as well. I think the color palette is interesting with the eyes as well. The eyes make it like a lot super interesting. His clothes are pretty nice as well. And I think deers just have a really nice design in Animal Crossing as well, both male and female. So I'm gonna say he's a B. He's a nice like middle ground design. Now we have Lucha. So here's the thing. I don't know how I feel about Lucha. I think Lucha is an interesting concept. It's literally a bird who's a luchador. It's a really cool gimmick. But the mask, like, I don't know, like having a luchador mask on an animal looks kind of odd to me. It works and it doesn't work for me. So for that, I'm going to give it a B. Because I'm very much like in the middle of it. I could take him and I can leave him. I have no clue. Like, he's off to me. Now we have Marshall. Now, as for smug villagers, in this path, I would have to give Marshall an S tier. I'm not a huge fan of Marshall personally, but for the smug villagers, I think Marshall ticks off a lot of good boxes. His design is very pleasing. It's very nice to look at. He looks like he'd be a smug villager. Yeah, his outfit is really nice. Marshall is a very stylish villager. I do like the rosy cheeks that he has and a little tuft of hair. I think it works. I think Marshall's character design is just spot on. It's perfect how it is. He's not my favorite squirrel. He's not my favorite villager by far. I could take him or leave him personally. But as for the smug category, I think he's like one of the best smug villagers. Now I have O'Hare. I think O'Hare is going to be a C tier. I like the whole bunny thing. I like his shirt. I like his hat. But I don't like his face and I don't like his color palette. I don't like the mint green with the orange and the brown. I'm not a huge fan of the color palette. And color palette like really means a lot for villagers. So I think O'Hare is going to go for a C tier. He's someone that I wouldn't really take. But if he... And like I would probably like kick off after a while off my village. He's fine. Olaf has a gimmick. He's like a matador. And he's an anteater. I think out of the anteaters, he's one of the better looking ones. I think he's still a C though, just because of his color palette. His eye actually works really well for being an anteater. His hair kind of works as well, and his outfit is obviously is a matador outfit. I think it works really fine, but he's not a villager I would pick up. So I think he's a C tier. He's not horrible, but he's not like decent or good in my opinion. And we have Pietro. Now, I actually have more insight on Pietro. I think Pietro's an S tier. I love his design. It's so crazy and out of there. He doesn't come off as a smug villager. I'm going to be honest with you with that. I think he would work more as like a lazy villager, I would say. But I love his design. I love that he's a freaking clown. He's so interesting. He's so unique, and just for that uniqueness, I think he's an S tier. Like I said, I love villagers that have gimmicks. Like we have a unicorn and we have a clown. Like Chatter is an A just because I'm not a huge fan of the mice, and even though like I like this like the idea of Chatter, I just don't like that he's a mouse. It works because it's cheese. His name's Chatter and he's a mouse, but I'm not a huge fan of the design. Whereas Pietro, I love sheeps. I think they look really nice, and he's a clown. He goes full force as a clown. He's super colorful. Like it looks like a rainbow barfed him up. I think that's perfect. Then we have Phil. I actually really like Phil. I think Phil's design is really nice. I like the reddish pinkish mask. I like the contrast of the eyes. I like his actual coloring. It's like a nice like deep violet. And his outfit's really nice. It's like a sweater with like some kind of like a handkerchief tied around his neck. Wearing some green pants, I believe. I think he's an A tier. He's definitely a ostrich I would take. I like his design. I like how he looks, and he does look like a smug villager with how his face like lines up. He looks like someone who'd be like, girl, I don't think that shirt goes well with those pants. Like I think he looks nice. Next we have Coulson. D tier. I hate his face. I don't like it. His bill, if you look him straight on like this, looks like just really weird colored lips that are really big. I don't like his eyes. They're way too droopy. His hair is what kills me as well. It's like that typical nerd hair that you see in those old movies, or like the stereotypical movies. And I don't like his color palette. I don't like the mint green on this duck with the bright yellow hair. I think he's a D tier. I think his design is on par with these two right here. Which I don't. Then we go into Raymond. Now I'm removing my personal bias from this just because I hate cats. Raymond, in general, I do think is a kind of boring design. However, for the smug villagers, he's a very clean design. I'll say that. He wears a suit. He's got like the same type of thing as Marshall, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the glasses on Raymond. I will say I guess Raymond would look just really weird without glasses because that's all we've seen him as. But personally, I don't like Raymond. The heterochromia, I guess, is a nice touch. Not a lot of villagers in Animal Crossing have the heterochromia, which if you don't know what that means, it's different color eyes. I don't know. I feel like his design is better than the people I have in B tier. But he's not anything special in my opinion. So at the very highest, I'll give Raymond an A. I don't like him personally, and I won't ever take him on my island. But design-wise, he's very clean looking. If you look at his face, he looks like a smug asshole. So he works for this actual like personality type, and he does have style, but he's not anything that I would be interested in getting. Next, we move on to Rodney the Hamster. Rodney's D tier. I don't like Rodney. Shep doesn't like Rodney either. He looks weird. I don't like the weird color palette between the light pink of his muzzle, the bright like hot pink of his hair, and then the blue of the rest of his fur, and then his eyes just like they look like they're looking on either side of his head, and they're way too like droopy and stuff. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. And we have Shep. I think Shep is a very good B tier villager. Shep's a decent dog. He's like those dogs that look like a mop. He doesn't look like a smug villager to me, to be honest, but I do like his design. His outfit's okay. It's like I think that's like a denim jacket. I don't know. I think he's a decent B tier. He's someone that I would take and I wouldn't take at the same time. I think it's fine. I have Tex. Tex is another penguin. I like his outfit. It's like a Letterman jacket. His design's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the eyes, but I do like his markings and stuff, and I love his beak. So I think for that, I think he'd probably be a B tier as well. Actually, no. Now that I'm thinking about it with the face and everything, I think he's a C tier. He's not a penguin I would take, and he's definitely not the first smug villager I would take from this. Not a huge fan. I have Zal. Zal I've actually seen a few times on my hunts. I love his markings. His eyes aren't the best, but I love like his pattern. His horns are really nice. As you can tell, they're a lot different than the other deer that's on the list. These are just have one curve. These are much more zigzaggy. I think his outfit is decent, and I like his design. I do think Zal is like a B tier. Zal I would definitely like pick up if it was like my last ticket and stuff like that. I would take him. He's got a cool design. I think I said that in my hunt as well in one of the videos that he had a cool design. But yeah, this is my smug villager lineup. So we've got Julian, Marshall, Pietro. We have Chatter, Carlos, Ken, Kid, Phil, Raymond. Then we have Beardo. We have Kolten, Ed, Eugene, Hans, Henry, Huck, Jacques, Keaton, Kyle Lopez, Lucha, Shep, Zell. Then we have Chops, Lionel, O'Hare, Olaf, Tex, and in the bottom of the barrel, we have Graham, Hippo, we have Klaus, Leopold, Coulson, and Rodney. This is my tier list for smug villagers. Let me know how yours is different. Let me know where you'd rank some villagers. Let me know who's in your S tier. I think these three are in S tier. Obviously, I think the unicorn deserves to be an S tier. Bear Show deserves an S tier. If I would order S tier, it'd probably be like this. Probably be like this. I think these two would be tied for the top spot, and then Marshall would be last. I like Marshall's design a lot more than Raymond's. I think it works a lot better. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this tier list and you enjoyed knowing what my preference is for smug villagers. I will be doing tier lists for every single personality type. I could do the actual like animal different the different animals, but you have the case where like you have the octopi, which are only 3, and then you have some of them where like the cats where there are like so many different cats. But I think for the next one we'll do Uchi villagers. So I'll see you in that next tier list. If anything interesting happens in Animal Crossing the next week, then tier list might not be for next week's video. But if nothing interesting happens, this will definitely be it. Which actually, I think the bug event is next week, so I'll probably be making a video of that. So the next tier list might not be for the week after. But regardless, if you enjoyed this video and if you enjoy Animal Crossing, make sure you leave a like and you subscribe. I do make Animal Crossing videos every Monday. I am going to be doing another hunt video sometime soon. I'm going to be looking for Anka. However, I will not be doing another 300 Nook Mile tickets. At the most, I'll probably buy either 200 or 150. That's really it. Yes, and I do want to put this out there. I do have the ability to get whatever villager I want now, but I do think it's more fun to do hunts and stuff like that. So in the near future, I will be doing another hunt, and I'll be looking for Anka. I do enjoy that. But yeah, as always, guys, hope to see you guys in the next video. So have a good morning, afternoon, and evening. Goodbye, everyone.